Hello, I'm Tammy from Acclaimed Heating, Cooling and Furnace Cleaning, and this is my lovely husband.
My name is Kevin.
Yeah, and we're from Acclaimed Heating, Cooling and Furnace Cleaning, and we have weekly Facebook Lives. And when we do our weekly Facebook Lives, we tackle a conundrum that a customer is experiencing, and we do a Dear Keven letter, and Kevin helps giving some insights to solve that problem. We also, what else do we do, Kevin?
Well, we kind of tell people what's going on around Edmonton, tips in terms of the seasonal tips, and there's certainly some to share with people today, and that sort of thing. So a lot of useful stuff, both dealing with your home's maintenance of all of your furnaces and dryer vents. Today there's a question about a dryer vent, and it seems like when it rains it pours. Lots of people this week for some reason with dryer vents that are so badly plugged. It's just been an interesting week for that.
Yeah. So I think it is signed Sincerely Confused by Humidity. So we'll tackle that.
Yeah.
We also got an update last week that the government has launched another secondary rebate program. And so we experienced that rebate program in May, June, where they did instant rebates for light bulbs, aerators for the faucet.
Yeah.
What else did they have on there? I think it was power bars. Anyway, when you go to the government of Alberta website, it'll give you some instant rebate information. It'll give you locations. You could go to Costco or Home Depot or London Drugs. Yeah. So that goes until October 29th. So people should take advantage of that. It won't go. It may not happen again. I'm really surprised that they launched it again. But why not get those LED light bulbs at a drastically reduced price, right?
Yeah, you know what? The LED light bulbs are a huge thing because there's not like a small discount on them. Last round we did all of them in our house. I mean, there's like 90%, 95% savings on a lot of the LED light bulbs to change out.
Yep.
So it is a huge discount, and it's definitely the time to do it in your house. And you're just going to save that amount of money in a year by the government being generous with those rebates. So it's a great program, and it's worked really well. But last time, you know what? Not a lot of people knew about it.
No. Yeah. And we save energy, and that for sure is the main reason why we want to change out our light bulbs. What I love about it is that they don't go out as often. And
no, they don't. No.
Yeah, and so that is a huge benefit when it seems like when you go to change out one light bulb, it seems like next week it's the next one that's out, and the next week, so it kind of limits that kind of investment of time. You need to do that. Do it once and you're done, which is awesome.
It is.
Should we go to the Dear Keven letter?
Yeah, let's deal with some more humidity issues.
All right. So, Dear Keven, for some reason my laundry room has become very tropical lately. Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me too.
Yeah, the humidity is off the charts. I have a window in my laundry room and the window is dripping with moisture. Signed, Sincerely Confused by Humidity.
You know what? I can tackle that. But you know, in terms of all the different problems you can have, you'd have a nice humid environment, and it would smell so great because of all that laundry detergent. So, you know, it's
short-term smell good.
Short-term smell good, right? But that's the type of thing that will smell really bad right away because it'll turn into like mildew and mold and all that type of thing. And you know, the dryer vents are really interesting. There's so many things that we do with dryer vents that people wouldn't expect. You've heard so many weird stories from me over the last 23 years, and when dryer vents get plugged, they cause all sorts of problems. They cause the dryers to overheat and such. What also happens is that they also will deteriorate the dryer venting. So the dryer venting that people have, in addition to maybe some good steel stuff, it's always that vinyl kind of accordion kind of stuff. It's fabric or it's plastic of some sort. So if your dryer is overheating because you've got a plug in there, or you've got lots of a lint in there that's wet, well, that deteriorates all that fabric. And so what will happen is that the joints will come disconnected, and all of a sudden you've got all that moist air from the laundry and the dryer coming into the room, or you'll have holes in it and it will be coming to the room that way. A lot of times you can't see it. I'm guessing this person probably doesn't know where exactly that might be originating from. There's a lot of dryer vents nowadays. It's not like, you know, yesteryear where very few people had a nice laundry room where there was drywall. It was all just in the basement. It was concrete. You could see your whole dryer vent almost all the time.
Yep.
Even in high-end houses, they didn't have like a drywalled, you know, beautifully decorated laundry room, which is common nowadays.
Absolutely.
So it's in the wall, it's in the ceiling, and we see it commonly where it's disconnected in the ceiling. Right?
Okay.
Because it wasn't attached properly in the first place. They don't allow screws to be screwed into dryer venting. That's been a code requirement now for quite some time. So it's only taped together. So if the tape, you know, number one, it wasn't done, which we see all the time, and if that tape dries out, the ducting was dirty or something like that, it comes apart. And that's a really good question. We see it a lot. And when we take down ceiling tiles and we open the ceiling up, it's pretty funny because it's like there's so much dryer lint up there,
Right.
and it's so humid. You get dripping down from the ceiling tiles a lot, and so that's what would be happening there.
So
with
so
that.
basically what you're saying is that it's not a sealed dryer venting from the dryer itself outside. There's some kind of break
Right.
in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, there's some kind of breach in the dryer vent. It's a breach. It's a security breach
Okay.
inside of that dryer vent somewhere, and you can't always see it.
So the other thing I was wondering about, so if this was an upstairs laundry room or a main floor
Yeah.
laundry room with a window, I hear window, so I think of main floor upstairs.
Right.
But I could think that if it would be in the basement, and maybe she or he is referring to a window in a basement,
Yeah.
that's when they see the moisture.
Right.
Some customers might think, or even if it was upstairs, that it might be a humidity problem with their humidifier malfunctioning. How does
Yeah.
one know that because that's the natural instinct when people think too much humidity,
Right.
got a humidifier, that must be the problem.
Absolutely. What a great point, because I've dealt with that for years with so many different clients as well. Really, really good question.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're very knowledgeable. You
Well,
don't give
thank you.
yourself enough credit.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, humidifiers, if they're not working properly and it's not you know, holding the water properly, so you've got a dripping humidifier, water dripping into the system,
Okay.
a lot of times it'll drip into the ductwork. And you
Oh.
go into houses sometimes, and all the minerals that are in the water, just like it kind of builds up on your shower.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see ductwork and furnaces that are like coated with white, and it's because the humidifier has been leaking for years.
Okay, so I'm going to stop
Yeah.
with just that one thought because
Okay.
I believe this week
Yeah.
we had a picture on our Facebook that showed a picture of a humidifier that we changed out that looked exactly like that.
Okay.
Lot of moisture and dripping.
Right.
So
Right.
after you're done spending some time with us here, you can head down or head up to the other feeds and take a look at that humidifier that we installed this
Yeah.
week or changed out this week.
Right.
Okay, back to you.
You know, you brought up another good point there. A lot of two-story houses now that have been built within the last 20 years, the laundry room is upstairs. And again, we're talking about a laundry room that's not like it used to be. It's in like a nicely finished space. I'd like to have a bedroom as nice as some people's laundry rooms, actually.
I agree.
Right? But those ones typically go up through the roof. So those are going through your attic. Right?
Okay.
And so there's so many different problems you can have if there's excessive moisture in the attic. And it is not uncommon at all. You know how many property management places we do? We're cleaning like thousands of dryer vents from the roof. We turn the dryer on, and there's nothing coming out there. So there's a plug or there's a disconnection. If there's a disconnection, it's disconnected in the attic. And
Okay.
when you look at your dryer going, you can see how much humidity is blowing outside.
Well, you got
Right.
wet clothes that
Right.
go to dry clothes. That humidity needs to go somewhere.
The humidity needs to go somewhere.
Yeah.
In this case, this person and many, it's going inside of the house somewhere.
But now we were talking about the humidifier.
Yeah.
I led you astray, distracted you with the Facebook
Yeah.
picture. So bring it back to here. That's me scrolling off of that.
All right.
But how does someone know that it's not the humidifier that's causing too much moisture?
Right. Great question. First thing to do is to take a look at your humidifier and see if you do see any water in that area or on the floor by your furnace. Another sign is rust marks in addition to that other stuff.
Okay.
But usually if you have an issue right now where you've got a lot of humidity in the house, and particularly in that one location of the room where the dryer is, that's one telltale sign. But with the humidifier, if it's responsible for that much extra humidity into the house, you typically see a problem where it is leaking excessively or things like
Okay.
that. And everybody should know how to at least open their humidifier up and take a look at it.
Okay.
Right? They don't need to know how to maintain it or change things. Some are extremely complicated to do, but most of them are quite straightforward to at least take the covers off and look at it. And you should be able to visually observe if there's a big issue there or not.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
humidifiers, they can be the most beautiful, peaceful place to
yeah.
go, or the
Yeah.
depths of disgust as you open that up. I could imagine some of these humidifiers, and we talk to customers, that they go down to change their humidifier pad,
Yeah.
which is the drum style. They open the lid, they take a look what's inside. they close the lid, and they just hope that no one saw them go down and take a look at it, because they don't even know how to manage that.
Right. So what you're talking about is you're talking about the husband who's supposed to go downstairs usually to do that, and comes back upstairs maybe and says, "Oh yeah, everything's good."
Yeah, perhaps that could be the situation.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. Well, that's hopefully confused by humidity. Basically, the short answer to that would be check out your venting that is going from your dryer. And you know, when you think about all that moisture that is in your clothes, it has to go somewhere, and having an immense amount of humidity would be caused if your venting was disconnected or had a crack in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Easy fix, because we can just put
fix,
that together, put a new, get he or she to whatever in your house is the most capable, if that's what they want to do, is tackle the replacement of that dryer vent, or have a rigid dryer vent installed. We can do that with some sheet metal and make it all gorgeous and stiff and awesome.
The best way to do it is always with the steel.
Yeah.
Always. And you want to have as little a portion of flexible stuff as you need.
Yeah.
You generally always need a little bit of flex at the bottom there. It'd be nice if people didn't, but they do. It's just a real reality. But you do want steel everywhere, and especially if it's going through the walls or the attic, you need to make sure it's steel, like rigid pipe. It's amazing how many properties we go to, and it's just a plastic thing that's going through the attic. And what a fire hazard is having this plastic dryer vent where unfortunately they catch on fire in your attic, of all places, right?
Flammable. And the reason it's done that way is because it's cheap.
It's cheap, and people make mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is a lot of time when I'm on site. I don't think it's purposeful most of the time. I think it's that somebody has made a mistake and nobody's checked up on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we mentioned about the rebates. That's an exciting bit.
It is,
There's some great things going on in the city. We have the October Festival, Pub Festival. And so we got some information that we have attached here that is listing some of the items. The women's show is coming up, which is a great thing. There's a cornucopia of things you'll experience at the women's show.
Like what?
Like,
you make it sound like that's risque, kind of.
Well, it is kind of risque. I remember one year we set up a booth at the Home and Garden Show because we thought, well,
the Home and Garden Show or the Women's Show?
Sorry, Women's Show. So 50% of our customers, or maybe even more, are women that are calling to set up this duct cleaning for their house.
Right.
So you probably don't remember this, but we set up a booth at the Home and Garden, or Women's Show.
I don't think
No, I don't think you were either. I think it was Al and Denise, which are my mom and dad, and I that did it.
Okay.
And I think it was super distracting. There was a lot of non-PG things around there, and I guess that's what women were interested in doing at the Women's Show, was checking that out. The last thing they were interested in doing is booking duct cleaning. So we were in there once. Anyway, so if you're looking for a little bit of non-PG exploration, you probably could go and take a look at the Women's Show, which you would not expect. But along with that, you will find some things that oils for like
well, I'm assuming
aromatherapy.
You're talking about things like knitting.
Yes, exactly what I'm thinking.
Okay, good.
Yeah, knitting.
Good.
And then what else do we have? Oh, yeah, the witchcraft and wizardry.
Well, that's one not to miss.
I know.
I can finally get my Harry Potter costume out again, and let's go.
Yeah, that's a really fun thing. It's on tonight, and that's really cool.
That's a great suggestion, Hermione.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to send you folks on your weekend and have a cozy, warm, and safe weekend. Be sure to give some comments and give us some, go over to the Acclaimed Homeowners Club and become a subscriber to that newsletter. There's some awesome, great stuff in there. And check out the humidifier, the gross, disgusting picture of the humidifier that you see on this Facebook feed after we're done.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, Harry Potter and Hermione Granger signing off. Have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend.